welcome to Flory Models Daily Live at 5 show. Here we are on, was it today? Wednesday, the 16th, 15th, get there eventually, of November 2017. Busy day. Sorting lots of stuff out and everything else. Apologies for Lindsay's lovely editing job of the video going up late. I did put it up this afternoon. It was my fault. I forgot to put it up this morning. And it was only when I was looking at it thinking, it's not there. So anyway, it's up there now. So the first part of the Telford video is up. Again, thanks to Sid with that one. He's done a fantastic job. Nice slow panning around all the actual SIGs and all the tables and all the manufacturers. Pretty much covered absolutely everything. Part 2, which was with me doing the actual and Sid going to the competition area, going through all of that. It's done and rendered, but it's not uploaded to YouTube yet because obviously we were doing this because that's what was making horrendous sound this afternoon. So the trouble we got at the moment, because we're only running on one computer, obviously I can't film anything in here when that computer's rendering because it is so noisy compared to the new one that's broken.
It's quite noisy.
So yeah, it's quite noisy when that one is rendering. So I couldn't do it. But we have done the review for this. Steady. Wow. There we go. So this has to be one of the worst kits I've seen. This is Matt's A Models 72nd. I haven't actually done the editing of it yet, but needless to say, I don't think it's one of their best. Oh. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? So yeah, it's one of these things where you can clearly see how they've actually sanded it with a belt sander as well, which is always a clue. But if we show you some of the highlights, like the holes in the wings, some of this nice detail on the surface, which actually looks recessed but actually is raised because of the moulding process. It should be recessed. You can see a belt sander mark there where they've sanded it off on a belt sander and gone through, but yeah, it's not the nicest bit of moulding we've seen here. Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. A lot of that's going to be cut out, but as you can see, it is a little bit odd. We were talking to the guys, to be honest, this is Matt's kit that he insisted on buying because quite clearly he likes a challenge. And being a car painter, he knows how to do all of this. But it is that thing. It's probably going to go in one of the top nasty kits that I've seen this year, definitely. But it is what it is. It's a 72nd scale Bison, and this is the only one that's available, so you're sort of stuck with it. So if you want one, you've got to go down this route. But how these things attach to this is still a bit of a mystery. I know they go like that, but it's not nice at all. Personally, I think you need some rod in there, lots of metal, to really give this thing some structure. And everything else like that. But yes, good luck, Matt. We're looking forward to him building this one, clearly, because he intends to do it. But it is. But it's funny because John bought the Mainstay, which is the a newish kit from A Model, and it's beautiful. It really is nice. Gorgeous injection moulding. The plastic is great. So's the resin. It's fiberglass with that kit, and it really is very nice. But having reviewed this afternoon, it was like, oof, that's pretty horrible and gnarly. It's just not nice. Yeah, it's good. And actually it's got foam inside the wings, which I'm not sure why it would have foam inside the wings, but it does have foam. So yeah, it is a little bit odd. I'll get this one edited up for you. I might do it this evening, so it'll be up on the site with you tomorrow. But yeah, it's one of those kits when you review it, you're like, but it is the only one. So if you're going to do it, you've got to do it, really, and make your way through with it like that. Generally, we haven't done actually much filming today as well because they've been building work out the back, isn't it? So we've had big saws going and various things like that, so you can't film whilst they're doing that. The plan, the update is, I can show you actually on a photo because I took some photos earlier of where we are for all you that are following along with, God knows, with the construction out the back. Okay, you might remember it was looking like, hold on, I have got a good photo to show actually. Okay, so if I get this right, if we go like that, and then like that. Okay, so here we are. Here's how it's looking so far. And then unfortunately, Lola got out there just before it got dark last night and did that. Yes, she walked right the way around the foundations completely in a giant circle. So as you can look, you can probably see on here. Oop, where's it gone? There it is. That one. But yeah, you can clearly see how she's actually walked right the way around up the end and then back round and then out. So yeah, not only was she covered in concrete when she came in, we had to, well, you were good enough to hold her whilst I hosed her down completely.
It was a little bit messy, wasn't it?
It was just a little bit messy. So yes,
that get involved.
She did. But this is where we're going along now. I've got to take some photos really because they've done all the block work is starting to go in. So as we can see, we've got the various things that they're making their way round. I think that's roughly about it. I've got to go out and take some more because they finished all the block work the first course. The bricks all down there, which gives you an idea of the size of it and all the areas like that. But needless to say, it's starting to take shape. And having a meeting with them today, they were saying apparently the concrete gets poured on Friday for the slab, and then they're working over the weekend. And apparently the roof goes on, which is amazing seeing it hasn't got walls yet.
I know.
Roof goes on Wednesday. The windows go in Thursday, and they're going to be watertight by next Friday. And then it's all plastering and electrics and everything for 2 weeks until they get it all done. Then rendering on the outside and all the stuff goes with it. But it's coming together really, really quick. Bit of landscape gardening around it. The tree out the front, it'll look lovely. That's it. And then Mel will be out there with no heating on.
Yeah, I know, and we can stay in here nice and warm.
Nice and warm.
I am like a lizard. I need a hot lamp all the time. I'm very cold all the time, aren't I?
A theory, what we ought to do is change these over, because in the old days we used to use big light tents, which used to have like 500 watt light bulbs in them.
Oh, that's
so you'd loved it, because I used to sit under them, I was like, God, I used to sweat and have to come out. And then we switched over to LEDs, because obviously there's very little heat that comes off of these, and it's great, but you'd be better the other way. So I think we'll get the other ones for you, and you'd be like, oh, this is nice.
This is nice.
Sunning yourself under it, because you are literally like a lizard.
I am.
You just don't warm up at all.
I don't. I'm always cold, apart from when I've got
holding
hot
drink. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Somebody asked about mugs as well.
Yes.
We will.
Yes, this is. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, they'll have to do it with that one. Don't tip it. That's my trick.
Tip it. There you go. Look, that's me.
Lindsay mug.
It's a me mug. So we are going to be doing these soon.
This is the original one, but a lot of them had this one, which was the original sort of Flory Girl mug. So what we have said is we'll get them all done, isn't it?
Yeah, we did say we'll have them all done and get some t-shirts as well. And we've been looking into doing different things with the t-shirts. So
t-shirts, tops, all of that. Hold fire for a minute. We've had a change of plan in some ways, and we're thinking of better things now.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, so you'll be seeing some new things coming up. We're just getting everything all together really, because we've got so much going on, and with obviously all the new sci-fi things, and I want to do a review on a couple of kits that we have for the Halo kits.
That's right. Yeah, you can do those. And
we've been talking about obviously the SIG and doing all that. I didn't actually realise how long it was for when you actually
3 months.
we were speaking about it today, so I got pretty excited about that, because I thought it was only going to be for a few weeks. So I thought I only had a few weeks to do it, but with it being 3 months, and then obviously I would like to carry it on from there. And so it's going to be exciting. So just bear with us, because we're just we've got so many things going on that and then with obviously the computer, which thank you everyone on Facebook for all your comments. I have looked at most of them, and after this I'm going to have a look on the Facebook links, because a couple of you sent me some links, so I'm going to have a look at those. There's some great ideas on there.
Vic 20. I bet you don't know what one of them is though, do you?
A Vic 20? No, I don't. What is that?
I can't remember who put it up, it did make me laugh.
It's a Vic 20.
A Vic 20 was basically it went like ZX81 and a Vic 20 were like the first two computers. And actually I didn't have a Vic 20, I went to a Commodore 64. This is like retro gaming, this is. And then I went to an Amiga 500, and then I must admit, then I jumped over to a 286, 386, 486, and then obviously went Pentium, through the Pentium family until we're i7 now. So yes, that's what it was. So they were taking the mick.
Right, okay,
I wondered if you'd pick up on that one, but it did make me laugh when I saw it, so I thought that's brilliant.
A lot of the time, if somebody is talking about something that I don't know much about, I'll Google it.
Yeah.
I'll Google it, and then if I've seen it before, I'll say, right, I've seen it before, don't know anything really about it, but at least I have an idea of what it is that you're talking about. So a lot of the time I've had comments on things that I do not have a clue about, I'm not going to lie, but it's all things that you can, I'm very fast at picking things. You
are a very fast learner, I must admit. You've been here now 2 weeks. Properly now, basically now, and you've done really, really well, I must admit, I have to say. especially on the techie side. You're right whiz there. Even setting up the site tonight.
And you know what? I've always said from a young age that gaming I'm great with. Anything sci-fi I love, but on a tech side, I always thought I was a bit of a technophobe because I was brought up very old school, and when everything was coming about with all the computers and the updates, and obviously for my old job I had to be tech because we had a lot of updates all the time. We had to do certain things on spreadsheets and formulas and things, so I had to learn very quickly. And when I did part of my degree, we had to do the computer side. I failed that once. I failed it once, and then I was like, no, I'm going to do this. So I did. I got really stuck in, and I managed to pass the second time round, so I was quite lucky with that. I'm glad that they gave me a second go at it, because otherwise I wouldn't have been very good. But I'm quite impressed with the fact that I've understood basically what you've said, because the understanding of it is probably more. Anybody can do something that they're shown, but it's the understanding, I think, that is the most important. So any of you people that are not tech, don't worry about it. I'm not massively tech, but you know, a few goes and having a mess around, you tend to find your feet on it. So I wouldn't worry too much. So anybody that's not too up on Instagram or Facebook, just have a play and you'll get there eventually.
Definitely. Yep. And you've been updating all of those and all the bits like that.
Yeah,
fantastically done.
20 comments on the computer. So we've had quite a lot of feedback on that. A lot of you have said about building your own computer. Now, I would say that I would give it a go, but I think what we're going to do is have an upgrade on the old faithful Cooler Master.
Yeah, that's just the case one, isn't it? Because to be honest, that's the one that's running now, and some of you said the sound quality's better, weirdly, but it's the old faithful, and it's never failed us, and it's the one that keeps coming down here every time the big one breaks. But it is, I don't know, at the moment I think we're a little bit torn, aren't we? Because we're thinking maybe Alienware, going to go down that route.
But then we spoke about how that's all down now,
It's all down now, and all the rest of it. And then obviously a couple of you put up, because we were looking at them, some of the links to some of the companies and things as well, because I had a look around. It's one of those things, it's like just knowing which way to go. Talking to a couple of you said about obviously the other computer, the trouble is it's so high end, or was last year, that you know it's a bit like a performance Formula 1 car or something else like that, because it's such cutting edge. It only takes one little thing and that's it, it's stuffed, it just gives up. Whereas if you have a normal workhorse car, for instance, it just goes on and carries on. We need something a bit grunty that just carries on, and then obviously the other one, the gaming VR and everything else, as I said, you'll get that one in your office, and you can then knock yourself out every time it blows up.
I can't say I'm very disappointed.
No, terrible really. So I'm thinking down in here we just need something raw guts and power, rather than the fancy, you know, sort of gaming side of rig of it, all the rest of it. Just I'll have to go into your office then for flight simming purposes.
Yeah.
and
yeah,
do
you
that.
can have a go on all the sci-fi stuff as well.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I did do
good.
that.
You're good on the See, you've got an edge there with the computer. Because I am not massive, well, I haven't been a massive gamer on the computers for years. It's always been Xbox or PlayStation. So you'll have to show me.
Yeah, welcome to the master race, that's what I say. You'll be fine. Right, over to the questions. So, carrying on from yesterday, because I think I missed a few, it just got a bit close on time. But David is saying, talking about accuracy of colours from yesterday, there was none during World War I. All paints were hand mixed. During the end of World War II, the Germans used whatever the captured paint stocks they had that come close to the RLM requirements. Personally, I have 3 actual Royal Canadian Air Force paint chips for the green for the CF 104s. And all of them are different shades. I also got today the book from Red Room Models, sorry, don't know that one, on World War II aircraft colours, and it has real paint chips. It also states with foliage green that various variations exist with this colour, so manufacturing of the paint for military in any era is not dead on. The colours depend on the temperature, humidity, etc. No one paint is the same than other. With modern equipment booths, with model paints and the real thing. So Phil, you're quite correct in saying it's a ballpark. Go with it. And that is the thing, you know, at the end of the day, sorry, I'm pulling the thing out, you know, I always say that, especially with weathering, you're going to fade it, you're going to take it off shade. So the bit where they turn around and say, this is the shade, is a load of crap, if I'm honest. Because again, by the time you've gone and post-shaded it, and obviously you've lightened it, washes, filters, all these things, it changes it. And that's what I say about them all. Don't be too tied up in this thing about the colour is spot on. Because also, weathering of aircraft in real life, again, I often talk about a photo, and I wish I knew where it was, but a photo of a lineup of Typhoons all in a row, and they are all different colours, because some of them are obviously weathered different to others, and some of them are in shade, some of them are in bright sunlight, and they are literally 50 shades of grey right the way through, and they're all different colours. And it's a bit like, you know, F-16s and F-15s, the noses wear different colours depending on how old they are, their environment and stuff like that. And environmental conditions really for anything, armour, tanks, spacecraft, the works, it doesn't matter, because again, it's all going to be different. You know, you get an aircraft that's based in Saudi Arabia, something else like that, it's going to get bleached out a lot quicker than one round here, and vice versa and things like that. So really, I wouldn't read too much about it. And often, yeah, I know I've spoken about it before, but my grandfather worked in World War II painting Lancasters, and they used to have trouble with paint stocks turning up. It was pretty good. It's not like they ever run out, but when they were getting low, they would thin it with other things just to make it stretch further. So it was always, oh, chuck a bit of that in just to make the quantity up to be able to do it and various things. So from that point of view, again, we'll see on these things.
Said, when I was looking at the different types of models as well, at the Telford show, and I was saying I could tell yours apart, because it looked different, but because obviously everybody uses different paints, but everybody thins it with different things or does different things with it, or so we was actually talking about
it. Is it because we were saying that literally is that, like when you see model shows, you're, because we won't say what it was, obviously, because we don't want to, you know, make people feel bad or good, or whichever way it is, but we were looking at a particular stand and it had lots of similar types of aircraft on there from similar, you know, from the war period and stuff like that, and we were saying how they're all different, but that's how they would be. Because they would all be different weathered and different things. So actually there is no right or wrong there. Which one's the right colour, which one's wrong, because they're all correct. Because it could be that one's just older than the other. One of them's had a bit more of a hard life. One of them's been touched in more recently. The age of the aircraft. There's so many different variations in there that the bit where they should all be universal is wrong. So, you know, don't have to worry about that. Okay, Andy says, evening Phil and Lindsay, thanks for the fantastic weekend at Telford, still recovering from it all. I bet you are. Has he been beaten by Shell? I ended up with 12 kits to add to the stash. Yep, she wasn't happy. I bet she wasn't. Although she did carry them all out to the car for him, which I thought was very generous of her. And thank you, Shell, for helping me load the van. Bless her. She didn't have to go to the gym the next day, I'll tell you. Okay, the AK Real colours do look nice, and I bought a couple of their British set at the show. Spoke to the guy on the stand and he assured me that they thin perfectly with levelling thinners. Look forward to trying them out soon. Definitely, Andy. Me too. Hope to have a go with those probably Friday, I think, to be honest. Right, Martin says, hi Phil. I have measured the rod and it goes all the way to the front of the nose. Cheers for the tip on PVA glue. That was yesterday when he had the tail sitter problem with the lead balls going in there. Yeah. So yeah, we can do that. And carry on, next page. Frederick says, Phil, you said earlier that you strip the paint off the kit. How do you get it off? Thanks, Fred. I can't remember which one I said now. Was it Buster? Buster's had a few over the years. Actually, I haven't seen Buster come back yet. I'm sure he did come home with us. I'm just thinking, where is he? Yeah, Buster's the long trench whacking one, as you call it.
Sounds like a dog.
Yeah. Mythbusters had a Buster for the dummy, so that's why we have Buster for the model, you see. Right. I stole it from them. I'm not claiming credit at all. I just ripped it off the telly. Right, so anyway, personally, I like using IPA, which is isopropanol alcohol. As we know, I have it here in a secure cabinet, clearly. But yeah, this is the one. This is, I think it's 97% pure alcohol.
Oh.
Your eyes lighted up. You can't
No.
drink it. I think it's
No.
probably going to be harmful.
I don't really drink, so.
Well, no, I know that, but if you had a go, that's where you want to do it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so to be honest, the reason I like this so much over traditional thinners and stuff like that for getting it off your paint, I think because it's pure alcohol, it doesn't attack the glue, the filler, and even PVA glue. Because as you know, I stick a lot of my canopies down with PVA glue, so this stuff works an absolute treat. But it's isopropanol alcohol, or we call it IPA, which mine was manufactured in 2008. It's even got all the things, but you say don't drink it and don't set fire to it.
No.
It's because it's not nice stuff.
I'll try not to do that.
Definitely. That's why I'll put it under lock and key.
Yeah.
You need ID to buy that. Right. So, you know, from my point of view, it's nice and easy. You just soak it. What I would suggest is, this is one. If you get your model and put it into a giant bag like this, you get one of the proper decent zip bags like this one, okay? You can then lock it in there and leave it. And because it can't evaporate, because obviously being alcohol, it evaporate, it stays in here quite well. The model then, it softens all the paint right the way down to plastic. And then to be honest, I take something like a 3-4 inch paintbrush, just dip it in some IPA and just rub it all over, and it comes out squeaky clean and you're ready to go. And the great thing is you can just prime straight onto it or do whatever you need and away you go, and it's easy to do. I said some ones you want to be careful, don't go in there with lacquer thinners and things like that, because you're going to melt the plastic and you're going to soften the plastic even, worst case scenario. So that's why I tend to use IPA for all my stripping and stuff like that. I think we used it when we were talking about yesterday, whether in the Corsair, the salt chipping technique used to go wrong. Oh, yeah. That got done the same way, IPA over it and then go again. And things like that. That's my preferred way. Again, you don't have to go that far. If it's just a simple problem with your model, sand it.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you use the sand?
Yeah, just sand it back and then just reprime and go again and do it like that. Many a time I won't actually strip back. I'll just sand the layer, get rid of the problem. So if you've got something in there, like you've put a thumbprint in there, you've taken the paint completely off for some reason, just sand the area, blend it down, blow in over the top, build it back up, and good to go. And it saves having to strip the entire model in many cases. And even if you just ruined a coat of paint, just strip that paint, go off, sand it back, go again.
Oh, okay.
You'll be shown all of this, don't panic, we'll get you up to speed. Next week's painting week. Paint along with Windsy.
I know, I can't wait.
Okay, I saw this one from Lenny, actually. Bless him, look, you even got hearts. Hi Phil, and a warm welcome to Lindsay. See, look,
thank you.
Biggest fan. Okay, firstly, I say it's great to have a beautiful, fresh face on Flory models. No, Phil, I'm not talking about you. You're always beautiful. Oh, thank you. Anyhow, shows. Have you thought about the Shropshire show at RAF Cosford, which is a good museum? We're going to have to take you to that one. That's a good one. Got a thing for museums. We'll get you around.
Yeah, I do. I love museums.
Okay, so it's always been a decent bash for the museum, aircraft, and other exhibits on show. Also, are you going to the Huddersfield this year? My career has given me, Kara has given me a day pass so I can go. Would be great to meet up again. As for the Halo kit, what's it like? Is Lindsay reviewing it soon? You are. I
would like to, yes. I think we talked about maybe doing that this week, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll be tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah.
We'll get that sorted. It's a little bit difficult at the moment because the builders are knocking 7 bells, or they're out there with saws, you know, because they're cutting slabs and blocks and stuff. They don't seem to use hammers like they used to. Everything's now mechanical.
Yeah.
So at the moment it's a bit difficult for us filming during the day. But yeah,
we'll have to do it at night.
Well,
we can do it at night.
We'll do it during the evening if you want. We can do those as well.
Yeah.
Don't get overtime, you know.
No, I know.
Anyway, as for Cosford show, definitely. To be honest, I've already got that on the list because I think it is one of those ones where it's a good distance for us. It's not too far, and it's obviously a very well supported show. And I have done that show in the past as well, so I know it. So from that point of view, it is on our to-do list. We've got some great suggestions, guys. You're just focus on Phoenix though.
Yeah, I know.
That's it. As soon as we come off there, and I was there, she's like, Phoenix? What? As in like America?
As in America. I've always wanted to go to America, and I love the accent, love the accent, and they tend to. I mean, they've got Comic-Con, like the most amazing Comic-Con that I would love to go to. So, so when he said about Phoenix, Phoenix is just there
That's
my
it
head
now, just
every
focused on
time,
Phoenix.
yeah.
Comic Con, don't they have a thing where like it takes you like 2 years to be on a ticket list to get in?
Yeah.
Are we
yeah.
going to have to... Does anybody know if we can get a ticket
Yeah.
from? We need a friend.
Yeah,
We need someone to get us in.
I need a friend that can get me in there. Don't worry about him.
Oh
Just
yeah, don't
me.
worry about me.
Just
Yeah,
me.
that's fine.
It's okay.
That's it, I'll stand at the side.
I'm going to be a stormtrooper because I think I would make a very
Short
Very
stormtrooper.
cool... No!
4'11" stormtrooper. In
I'm
your heels.
4'10" and a bit.
That's what I'm allowing for heels.
But yeah, I think stormtrooper is the way to go.
Did
for that.
stormtroopers wear like 6-inch pointy heels?
Well, no, but I would make an exception not to wear them
Right.
this once.
So I can use every joke about aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper still?
God,
Because that's
yeah.
my favourite one
Yeah,
for you.
every time we talk about stormtroopers,
Yeah.
every single time.
Got to be done.
God. I'll never get away from the height thing.
You won't, no. Okay, Alan says, hi Phil, sadly not able to make Telford this year, but I hope to see you again next year. When you introduce Lindsay, Miss Skeefy, as you now know.
Yes, which I have been told I have to be called Skeefy. It's
Yes,
a rule.
It is, Skeefy
You
is a
told me
rule.
that it's a rule that it has to be Skeefy, not sci-fi.
No.
And you told me the reason why for this. I think it was, wasn't it because someone put it up on when you were doing the SIG?
We were doing a live thing, and what it was Sid pronounced it as Skeefy, because it was done SCI, FEE, so he said Skeefy. So instead of sci-fi, that's where it's stuck. It's been there forever. So you are now Miss Skeefy.
Miss Skeefy. That's
Definitely.
Me. That's me.
So anyway, on the 6th of November, which is your debut show, was it, or was it the second one? Can't remember actually. I don't know if you did one before that, can't remember now. Anyway, you were wearing an apron. You weren't though, were you?
I wasn't. I was wearing my super cool dungarees. I'm quite small.
Were they from Adams?
Wow, no, they were from George. No, I'm just kidding. No, they were from as the kids section. Just kidding.
You still have to pay the VAT.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes, no, I was wearing dungarees that I bought just from New Look, I think it was, or H&M, and I put the Flory Models logo in the middle because I thought it suited better with it being what it looked like as a...
Yeah.
I can't believe it looked like an apron. That's pretty cool, actually.
Well, he goes on then to say, is there any new models or products coming along soon, as in all that type of merchandise? Again, we've had a little bit of we had a meeting.
Yes.
And we sat down and we were thinking about other things. So obviously we were thinking originally we were going to do the patches and stuff like that. We're looking at other options, to be honest, because we're just thinking the patches looked a little bit bulky and in your face.
And they are very time consuming because I was actually doing the patches. And they're extremely time consuming. I didn't realise how time consuming it was going to be, to be honest, because I said, oh, I'll be able to do those in a few minutes, no problem.
Yeah.
But it is quite time consuming. Not only that, it's quite heavy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't quite sit right,
That's
I
it.
feel. So,
yeah, we're thinking the patches, because they're quite heavy duty ones. They're great if they're on like a Velcro backing and onto a Velcro, but if you go in onto like a garment, they pull quite heavy.
They do, yeah.
So obviously the fashion department are redoing it all now, and we're coming up with a few new ideas, and obviously we're thinking of new products such as the aprons and tabardie things, aren't we, and stuff like that.
We spoke about before, so that's something to definitely look for, because obviously it will be handy for when you are model making. So it is something that we're looking at, and obviously other different merchandises you'll start seeing coming out soon.
Definitely. Cool. Okay, so Michael says, hi Phil and Lindsay, delighted to hear that you're considering heading north of the border to Bonnie, Scotland. If it helps giving you assistance involved, if you have a stall and want to send stock up by courier, I can store it at work and then get it delivered to the show for your arrival. That'd be handy. When of course you will need to be introduced to a wee dram or two. Well, we do. We'll be there.
A wee dram or two, is that a drink?
It is.
Yeah.
Bit of whiskey.
Oh no. Yeah, I can do Baileys with lots and lots of ice.
You now know that the entire Scottish people have just turned off when you mentioned like ruining a whiskey or a scotch with anything.
Well, it's whiskey based.
Well, I know that, but obviously then the Irish add cream to it. which in their eyes will be like the biggest no-no you can ever do, isn't it?
I know. I used to get the accent.
That's a bit like having an Irish coffee, and then it turns up for me, then I stir it, and you see everybody go, what the? It's like, it's hot.
Yeah, no.
So, yes.
I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go.
Great. So I know what you're like, semi-drunk.
Oh no.
Yeah. We won't talk about that, will we?
No.
Christmas do. Right, okay. Daniel says, I'm currently building an F4 and have been battling me from the start. I recently started painting it again and it went wrong. I watched your F4U that you had to strip the paint on. I started to use the same technique and it worked great. However, rookie move, I did not remove the canopy and I've got IPA all over it. I have dipped, oh god, yeah, the canopy to add another layer. My question is, will the alcohol fog the clear part? I fear that I need to strip the clear from the canopy and re-dip it. Thoughts? Yes, sadly, the chances are it has done it. Good thing though, IPA, it isn't as aggressive as what we're saying. If you use lacquer, that would be it. You'll never use that canopy again. IPA is probably nothing. What I would do is don't go with it with another, you know, IPA to try and get that clear off of the canopy. I would use something like a Windoline, because it will have ammonia in it, and ammonia will strip off. Actually, I think they changed it. If I remember rightly, somebody pointed out to me that they don't put ammonia in Windoline anymore. Used to. Used to smell like cat pee. Because nice. That's what ammonia is. So yeah, so from that point of view, you just have a look for an ammonia based, or very lightly sand it, and just sand it down, and then you can re-dip it afterwards and you'll be good to go. But normally I would try and remove the clear parts, but many a time I've had them that they're secured in there and you can't do it directly. But the IPA will sometimes, you know, just not really do much damage, or certainly stuff that you can get in there and clean it off again. But once you've dipped the canopy, obviously the IPA will eat somewhat into the actual clear coat, fogging it. But if you can get it off, then you can go again with it and just re-dip it and carry on and do it that way. So it's not like the end of the world with that one. Okay, now if I try and click on this one, it's then going to go horrendously wrong. So I'll pause here so you guys can see it. Hi Phil, we were talking about the clamps. This is the part number for the clamp. Now I can't click on that because it'll try and make it a phone call because I'm doing it on my phone. But there we go. That is your eBay item for the blue clamps, which are... Oh, I'm being killed now. Which are these. Okay, this is the blue friction clamps. So I'll put it up on the screen again. That is your number. So grab a pen, pause us now. That's it. You can have a coffee. Okay. I was only joking, but you drunk it as well. Right, yeah, yeah. Okay, so there we go. So that is your number for that one, all right? So go and have a look. To be honest, somebody else sent me a link and it said it was a bad gateway and it wouldn't work. So I'm not sure about that one, but literally as we were just sat here setting up, I tried it to try that link and it tries to make a phone call on my phone, so I can't click on it to show. Okay, next up we have, Brian says, hi Phil, great to meet you at Telford on Saturday. My first time at the exhibit. What an experience not to be missed. Good show. Okay, hello to Lindsay. Great to see a young lady joining the Flory family with ideas to promote the business and keen to learn about scale modelling, especially liking the sci-fi. May it be of interest have built the Bandai 1/72 A-wing, which I've got that one as well, and the tower, weathered it and managed to put lights into it. Oh. Will you be doing anything with lighting of models in the future? Thanks again for all your help. Just returning to modelling after 50 years. You reckon you feel old? Brian. Absolutely. As for lights and that, yes, we're going to get you into that. Definitely, because again, it's that next level. Yeah. Some of them come with them, but they're crap. If we're honest, like the Halo one has got lights and sounds. We don't tend to worry about that. I tend to glue over them. Yeah. But definitely lights and stuff like that, because of our prop making bit as well, we do that anyway. So we'll get that sorted and we'll make more of a feature of it and stuff like that. Again, I was speaking to Richard from Magic Scale Modelling with the lighting kits and the LEDs. A lot of you might know now he's working actually with Revell and all their lighting and sound kits and everything are going into their models, hoping that Richard's going to come and pay us a visit here in the studio and talk about his business and his ideas and everything else that they do with their actual you know, well, everything really, the lights, the sounds, but I know, I'm not going to say it because he's spoken to me and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it, but he's come up with something really, really good, which he's going to come over. So he's going to come over to the UK and actually show us. So the plan is I'm going to get him down in the spring. I'm going to get Christmas out of the way and he's going to come down for a mini visit, maybe a couple of days in the studio talking about it and showing us all about how it works and all those things. So really looking forward and excited to having him and his wife down for a couple of days as well.
Okay.
So that'll be good. Okay, Colin says, and hi Phil, just tried MRP 23 Grey for the first time. I'm impressed with it. It dries like Tamiya Fine Grey Primer from the rattle can. Please can you try if you haven't already? I have got it, I've got them all. 23, that'll be down the other end of my line of paints because it goes right down that way. If you haven't tried it, to hear your opinions, the big plus point is no clogging filters on the fume extractor. I've ordered some of the Tamiya retarder you mentioned from the other day off of Evil Bay. I have some Winter & Newton flow retarder. Are they essentially the same thing? No. I've got the one, I won't dig it out because I can't get out these days, but it's behind me. I've shown it on camera a million times anyway, they know what it is. And I honestly think the Tamiya stuff is better, which is a bit heresy because I've been banging about the other stuff for the last 10 years. But that is really, really nice. Literally one brush full in a colour cup makes flowing of acrylics so much better to airbrush with, but also hand painting. Hand painting is amazing with that stuff. No more do you get that thing where you put it down and it just dries and you're dragging it around or pushing it around. It actually is like a real paint. It goes on like an oil paint, to be honest now. It works really, really well. But as for the primer, I have got it. I did use it when we did the original demos of it. It's down the other end there. It really is very, very nice stuff. I must admit, I am a bit of a fanboy for the MRP stuff, as you know, and that is definitely the same with that one. Okay, David says, hi Phil, quick question. I have a 13-year-old True Detail photo etched cockpit set for my Mustang. And as we can see it there, sorry, there it is. Very nice indeed. Over the years, it's tarnished badly. What would you do to clean it up? Also, want to send my apologies for Lindsay for not sending her a big, send her a big warm welcome on the Flory modelling family. Welcome aboard, Lindsay.
Aw, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very, very much.
Okay, old decal, photo etch, stuff like that. Honestly, don't worry about it. It tarnishes, but that's just obviously environmental getting to it. It should be fine. If you wanted to be a little bit safe with it, I'll just give it a wash in warm soapy water, dry it off, or rinse it under a clean tap, and then just pat dry it and let it dry off naturally, and you should be absolutely fine with it. Unless it's physically starting to rust, which it shouldn't do because it's brass, in theory.
I was going to just ask.
But it looks like he's had a bit of a rub and a clean bare look.
From here, look, it looks gold to me.
Yeah, well that me and Liam had this conversation how in the modelling world technically brass is gold, and if you put gold on, gold doesn't look like gold as in know gold. It's a bit different.
It's more brass.
But it does look like it's tarnished down a little bit on there. But honestly, I think if you cleaned it off, and you should be absolutely good to go. Might be worth hitting it with a primer just to then see if you're happy. Make sure there's no reaction to the paint, then going to paint it afterwards, because you know that'll be your only sort of dilemma with that one really. Okay, Graham Moore says, F-clamps, Phil, I know that Squire Tools do them, stock them. They're under part number 150-015. Never seem to have much luck with the search facility. Apologies for placing the info here. Not at all. Go off and have a look, everyone. I can't click on it. I know everyone says you don't click on it, but I've learnt my lesson from clicking on things, because you never know, and things we're live. Okay, Jerry says, hi Phil and Lindsay, are you thinking about building the Bandai 172nd Millennium Falcon? Received mine last week and it's an amazing kit. Looking forward to watching it evolve into new, more encompassing sight. So are we. As a lot of you know, I do have the kit. I just don't have it in the UK. I bought it, or a friend of mine, I gave the money to a friend's bought mine. Mine's in Japan. The plan is he's coming back to Germany, so not that you should do this, everyone, but to save me having import charges and cheaper postage rate, he's bringing it to Germany with him because he's got a work trip there in the new year, and then he's going to post it from Germany to here, so I won't get caught with customs, and it'll be cheaper postage. So he's bringing it in his giant suitcase. He's got all these trunky things for he does for work.
The mafia soon.
It is, yeah, that's it. So that's how we're getting around that problem.
Starts.
Because it's 180 quid postage to get it back now.
Oh my.
So he reckons it's going to cost about 35 quid if he does it his way.
Oh, well,
so,
that's not too bad then.
Yeah, so that's it. Only one pair of underpants for him bringing it back because he's bringing me Millennium Falcon. Okay, so yes, once it's here, I did have every intention, and to be honest, I was going to bite the bullet and just do it, and it was going to be done for sci-fi and do it that way. But honestly, with Lindsay here as well, I know she's really excited about doing lots of sci-fi things. So I'm going to be working with her and teaching her modelling things and airbrushing things. And then I'm going to work on lots of little mini projects. Some of them are going to be Bandai. I'm going to do a little bit of prop work because I know you want to do some of the prop works as well. So we've got some heavy duty blasters to do over that sci-fi build. So we're going to do, well, you're going to do Captain Phasma, the giant X-Wing, and the Halo stuff.
And the Halo stuff, yeah.
Is for your types of things as you're working your way through. And then we have got some big resin heavy duty blasters, 1-to-1 scale film props as well. We've got Chewie's bowcaster we're going to do, we've got Boba Fett's, we've got them all. So the idea is a way of sort of introducing Lindsay into the wonderful world of all of this. I know you know a lot of the prop stuff, but for painting and weathering especially side of it, is that she's going to be let loose on them.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. I think I'm really starting to grasp the paints and the weathering and that's what I'm starting to really get my head around now. Because before, everyone was talking and I just didn't know what the hell anyone was going on about. And I've had a look at, well, I can see the airbrushes.
Yep.
And I'm really excited to do that. So we are going to be doing quite a lot, especially over those 3 months with obviously all the sci-fi builds and everything like that. And then once obviously that's out the way, I would like to. We spoke about this before. Obviously, sci-fi is my love. And all the props and the gaming and everything. That is my thing. But I still would like to learn because, like I said, I do love the really old war planes. When
you say old, you mean World War II?
Yes, well,
because if you go really old, you'd be down like you know.
Yeah.
Crimea.
Okay, very old for my generation.
Yes. But you've got a family connection to World War II,
because my grandfather, so, yeah.
Definitely. We'll get you sorted, don't you worry, we'll get you up to speed. Right, David says, hi Phil, I'm back. Forgot to mention that I'm watching your disastrous attempt on salt weather. I bet they all are now. Everyone's going to go back up and watch that. It's literally, it's like pulling teeth. On your Corsair, I agree that maybe that wasn't the best way to weather an aircraft. All right, rub it in, everyone. I was young. You do things when you're young and silly and, oh, you needed the money. Anyway, I know that one was not for me. I do the old school tape over wet paint. Great build, though. Do you know what? It's funny because that particular tape, the way of doing it with the old tape trick, I did on a 109 once and it worked beautifully. It had the best effect over it. So basically what you do is before the paint's totally dried, you put some sellotape over it and you whip it off and it takes some of it with it. And it was like one pass, beautiful. And I've still got the photos of it because I was looking at them a couple of weeks ago. I tried it on the second model and stripped it straight down to plastic. It was like, yeah, that didn't work so good on the second one. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. David is the last question. We're all sorted. Thank you for all the questions today, guys. It's absolutely fantastic. As I say, what we're going to do is we've got part 2, which I'll put up on the site. That'll be up with you tomorrow, which is the competition area and everybody's fantastic prize-winning models from Telford. Yes. And obviously, we'll talk about the winning ones because I'm going to sit with Lindsay and show her, and we'll talk about that on the show tomorrow night. And obviously, the Bison build will be up with you tomorrow at some point during the day, and obviously, it'll be listed tomorrow. We're hoping that all the heavy-duty building work and everything will be finished by the end of next week, and we can get on to sort of normal, because apparently they'll be working on the inside of it and it'll be quieter and stuff like that, and hopefully we'll know something, because we have had an email that literally just before we come on air said the computer has arrived with scan. Can't say that, I'll get in trouble. So anyway, we'll see what happens to that one, but that one should be back by beginning of next week with any luck, if they can figure out how to turn it on. Anyway, thank you again, lovely day. Thank you for all your hard work today, it's been fantastic.
You don't need to thank me.
I do, because you have been working very hard.
Thank you.
Right, that's it from us. Happy modelling. Take care. We'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.